It's a really good balance between cushioning and responsiveness. Welcome back, folks. Hope you are all fit and well. I'm Lloyd Purvis and this is Run4Adventure. We are bringing you another 200-mile shoe review, and today we are looking at the Wildhorse 6 from Nike. If you haven't watched our full in-depth 50-mile review on the Wildhorse 6, it's where we go into a few more facts and figures on the shoe. Please feel free to go and do so. But I must be honest, I've never been a massive fan of Nike trail shoes. I've always found that they struggle in the British trail running conditions, you know, wet, muddy, technical, rocky trails. But I had big hopes for this new version of the shoe. So let's find out if my hopes were dashed or whether the shoe lived up to them high expectations. Let's go through the things that we've liked running 200 miles in the Wildhorse 6. So firstly, we're going to talk through the things that we've really enjoyed about the shoe. And the first thing we need to address is the fit around the midfoot of this shoe. This shoe is very secure. You feel very locked down around that midfoot, which I love in a trail shoe. I think it comes down to this gusseted tongue in the shoe. It's really nicely fitted. Another great feature of the tongue in this shoe is Nike's put this sort of integrated padding across the tongue. The tongue is very thin, and I think without that integrated padding, you would have a bit of discomfort from the laces, but the padding's put in the right areas so you can pull them laces down, get a nice secure feel and fit around that midfoot, but you don't get any discomfort from the laces at all. A really good feature. Also in the upper, you've got this sort of high soft heel collar. Wasn't sure about that first, wasn't sure how comfortable it would be in the shoe, but it actually makes the heel of the shoe very, very comfortable, and it locks down and feels really well fitted around the foot. Not sure how well it works as a gaiter, keeping debris and stones out of your shoes, to be honest. I think it's a bit loose for that, but to be fair, I haven't had any debris or stones in my shoes, so maybe it does work well as a heel gaiter. Another thing we've really enjoyed that Nike have transitioned over to a full React midsole in the Wildhorse 6. Anyone that follows the channel, I say it all the time, I'm a big fan of that compound in a shoe. I think it's a really good balance between comfort, cushioning and responsiveness. And what it does with the Wildhorse 6, it makes it a great trail shoe when you're on the more compact, firmer trail, especially summertime, or if you're having to transition across the road and trail, or you have to run a lot of road to get to the trail from home. This shoe will handle them environments extremely well. It's very comfortable on road mileage for a trail shoe. You can bob along on the road as long as you want to in this shoe with no discomfort at all. So crossing over trail and road, the shoe handles it really well. The next thing we need to discuss when it comes to likes is the durability of this shoe. You know, this shoe has run 200 miles on a variety of trails in lots of different weather conditions, and it is holding up extremely well. Apart from looking a little bit grubby because it comes in a really light colorway, there is no signs of fatigue at all on the upper, no signs of fatigue at the flex point. In the midsole, the outsole looks as good as new. There's no wear on that tread, and I've done a fair bit of road mileage in the shoe, and it's holding up really well to them firmer, tougher tarmac miles. Price, $105. I think the price of the shoe is pretty good value. You know, you are going to get lots of trail running mileage out of this shoe because it is so durable and so well put together. So that is all the things that we've really liked about running in the Wildhorse 6, but I suppose it's about time that we went through the things that we feel a little bit disappointed about in the shoe while running 200 miles. And the first thing on our quite long list is the weight of the shoe. This shoe comes in a men's UK 9.5 at 330 grams, which is a heavy shoe, especially for a trail shoe. A lot of that weight is in this bulbous yellow over-cushioned heel area. It makes the shoe feel quite unbalanced and very heel dominant in its weight. Personally, for me, I prefer a shoe that's a lot lighter and a lot better balanced, especially in them technical trail environments when you have to move your feet quickly and adapt to the terrain. I think the Nike Wildhorse 6 really struggles in them environments, and a lot of it comes down to the weight and the heel weight of this shoe, making it really hard to get that quick movement out of your feet in technical areas. Next thing on that long list is the depth in the toe box of this shoe. Nike pitched the Wildhorse 6 as their shoe for distance, you know, maybe running ultras and long trail races. I personally found that this toe box in the shoe is very, very shallow. On all the long runs I did, once my feet had started to expand, I felt really, really constricted in that toe box. On some of the longer runs I did, I could feel my toe rubbing on the top of that shoe, and by the end of it, I had quite a sore toenail. So you never want that in a shoe that's built for distance, running a long way, running ultras. You need a bit of volume and a bit of width and a bit of depth in the toe box. When it comes to that yellow cushioned heel section on the Wildhorse 6, yes, it's very soft, it's very comfortable, but what I also found was it makes the shoe very unstable on the heel. This is very soft and very heavy, and it's quite rounded in construction. It's quite rolly, especially in technical environments or running off camber. I found in this shoe, running on off camber, it was super difficult. It kind of reminded me, I watched a wildlife program once and it showed baby giraffes getting to their feet for the first time. And that's kind of how I felt in this shoe on running off camber on trails. I was fighting the shoe. I was fighting it slipping off the shoe and holding on for dear life. Not really a feature that you want in your trail shoes, especially if you're running technical trail. The next thing was the grip on the outsole. You know, we've got different types of rubber compounds here from Nike. We've got this sort of tough rubber on the forefoot and on the heel to hold up to wear, which it definitely does. It does that extremely well. There's not much wear on that outsole at all. And then for some bizarre reason, you've got their super sticky rubber through the midfoot of the shoe, which you don't really contact a lot of things on the midfoot while running on technical trails. What I found from the hard wearing rubber was, which I've found before in a lot of shoes that have hard wearing rubber on, in wet conditions, on wet rock or wet trail, this shoe is pretty sketchy. I definitely wouldn't trust it in technical environments on wet rock, that's for sure. There's a few times where I really did slip. It grips some rock and then slips on others, so it's a bit like sort of playing rock roulette while running on wet rock. Again, another feature that I don't really want when it comes to running in my trail shoes. That is a few of the pros and cons that we found while running 200 miles in this trail shoe from Nike, but let's wrap this review up with a quick conclusion. I know it sounds like we've been super negative about this trail shoe. I personally think a lot of that negativity comes from the places that I run in or I spend most of my time in. I spend my time out on the Cornish coast path, super technical trails, lots of rocky environments, off camber running, and I personally think the Wildhorse 6 really struggles in that environment. But if you're the type of runner, the trails you run are flatter and firmer, canal paths, tow paths, or you have to do a fair bit of road to get to the trails or a fair bit of road in between, then the Wildhorse 6 actually performs really well in them environments. You've got that full react midsole, so on them firmer trails and especially on the tarmac environment, the shoe performs really well. A nice level of comfort and cushioning and responsiveness. When it comes to the outsole and that grip, on a dry, loose trail, it's actually pretty grippy, and again, that rubber has held up really well to them tarmac miles. So there is definitely a place for this shoe when it comes to trail running, but again, if you're the type of runner who loves to be in the mountains, mountainous trail, coast path, technical, rocky, wet, off-camber running, then there's definitely shoes that will perform a bit better when it comes to your trail running than the Wildhorse 6. That is a wrap on another 200 mile shoe review at Run4Adventure. Really hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you did, don't forget, give us a big thumbs up. We have left a link in the description if you want to find out any more about the Wildhorse 6 or any of the other trail shoes within the Nike range. Please click that link below. As always, guys, we want you to get involved at home. We want your feedback. You know, have you run in the Wildhorse 6? Do you totally disagree with everything we said? Do you find it very responsive, very stable and very grippy in wet technical environments? Or do you agree with what we said? Get them comments down below. If you haven't already, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Come along, join the Run4Adventure family. We would love to have you. And you can also follow us on our other social media platforms, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, or Strava. We've also just added to the Run4Adventure merchandise store. So we've also got these awesome, cool Run4Adventure casual hats. They're casual, they're very cool, but they are only casual. They're not running caps. We're working really hard on the running caps for the channel. We want them to be high performing, top quality caps for you guys at home. So it's taken a bit of time just to finalize the designs, but they'll be along soon. But thanks for watching. Thanks for the awesome support. We'll see you in the next video. Stay safe and keep on running.